The trade deadline's almost here. There's a lot of speculation, and there's future moves to be made for fantasy football. And some of those moves are easier to be made right now if you just speculate and stash with your last spot on your bench just in case, especially with players who are already starting to get a little bit of touches anyways. And one trade rumor that we're watching right now is Tony Pollard. He might get dealt. And that's starting to creep up through the cracks of the trade rumors. Tyjae Spears would be the next man up for the Titans. We're going to deep dive this scenario to see what you want to do for fantasy football. The good, the bad, the ugly. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're doing these deep dives every single day, as many as possible, so you get the advanced analytics you need on the situation so you can make your decision. You may not decide to pick these players up. You may bench them instead, or you might roll with it. You never know, but you got the information. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair, but it's leaking out. Per DM Rossini, she's been busting out information left and right. And there's a lot of players on the chopping block right now. Tony Pollard's one of them. Tony Pollard might be getting dealt. We've been talking about this. Like, why have him? Why have him on the Titans? You got a break in the contract coming up. You're looking at that. You're looking at Tony Pollard, what you're really doing on this team. You're not getting all the touches anyways. You can get some picks back. There's some opportunity for him to go. Breece Hall as well. And there's some teams that need a running back. And he could be a good short-term fill-in for another team that needs a running back right now. Tyjae Spears would be on the come-up in terms of at least fantasy football value. At least fantasy football value. So Pollard, when Spears was out, he was hitting the fairway here and there. Tyjae Spears, though, since he's been back against the Raiders, 5 carries, 31 yards, but 6.2 yards per carry. 5 carries, 22 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. 9 carries, 59 yards and touchdown, 6.56 yards per carry. Pick up off the waiver wire. So Tyjae Spears is looking good for this. And you look at the contract and you're like, this makes sense. This makes sense. You're on a potential out here. That's what I meant by break earlier. Kind of came out wrong. Potential out. 3-year deal, $21.7 million deal. We're into 2 years now. Now we're looking at him. We're not getting the touches. We'll get into the advanced analytics and his workload here, and you'll be like, this makes sense. It makes sense to make this deal. It makes sense to get some capital back, whether it's a late round pick or whatever you can, because you're looking at Tyjae Spears and what he did at college. He blew up that final season, 19 touchdowns, 1,500 yards at Tulane, 22 balls caught, 256 yards. Yards after the catch per reception that year, 12.7. This dude can eat up yards in space. When you watch the tape from back then, he is slick. He's one of those guys that can create extra space from linebackers and get it hard in the second level, into the third level, deep into the defense. Good vision, good approach to the line of scrimmage. 4.55 yards after contact per attempt every year in the fours. 4.54 on his career. That is a testament to his vision. How well he moves laterally. He is very slick with his feet. He gets drafted in the 3rd round. And it's a testament to his value and his play because during the combine, he popped up with a knee issue that will limit his career, potentially limit his career. As a degenerative knee issue that popped up. And typically when that happens, the prospect fades. But for a 3rd round pick, 1 year of major production at Tulane, that's fair draft capital for a healthy player. When you're looking at this and you're looking at Tyjae Spears, the vision, the ability to get it down on the field, Tyjae Spears has some good upside to his game. And now you're looking at Tony Pollard here because that's what's left on this backfield. And if he's gone, there's going to be nothing left. Nothing left to compete with. You're looking at Tony Pollard. He's been solid for the team. Has not been as productive as he was last year, but he's been solid. He's done his job. 12.1 PPR fantasy points. Steady RB2 last year with 2 RB1 weeks. You can't ask for more than that. He was rather steady last year for this team last year. Not as steady this year. Change of quarterback play. Volatile team. We all know that. Tony Pollard, though, the opportunities have been dipping. Ever since Tyjae Spears has came back, his opportunities have been dipping. And when you look at the true yards per carry, Tony Pollard has been dipping as well, 3.85. That ain't getting it done. Tyjae Spears is pushing 5. Breakaway run rate, he's killing everybody else. Yards created per touch, Tyjae Spears is winning here. Yards created per touch, 2.63 versus 2.13. Pollard edges him out. But when you're looking at this, 2 yards per carry, breakaway run rate, things are looking good. And targets per game, they're both roughly around 2.75. Target share, roughly about the same. Route participation rate, Pollard's got a little bit more. Spears is nasty in the passing game. He's slick with the ball in his hands. Give him a little bit of space. Watch what he does with it type of deal. That's what you're getting out of Tyjae Spears. When you're looking at the opportunity share over these last few weeks since week 6, you're looking at Tony Pollard getting a 24% rate versus Tyjae Spears getting a 20% rate. It's dead nuts 50-50, and you look at the contract, you're looking at the amount of wins this team has, you might as well make the flip. And you can't use these guys in fantasy football, really. You can't really use them. They're dart throw plays, like you're hoping they cross the goal line with that workload. So if Pollard goes, you're getting Spears as the fantasy football asset and probably Pollard as too, and it really helps both backs. A trade will help both running backs for fantasy football. A trade is something that we want. We want this trade to happen. We need Pollard to go to a different team. That way it opens up 2 running backs here for touches. Pollard could go to a nice team here that's looking to compete. His potential and what he could do in fantasy could go up there. His stock would probably rise. So if I got Pollard, I'm probably going to hodl right now just in case. No bottom tier teams looking to trade for a running back right now. So it's going to be one of those top teams that can move the football. He's getting a 52% share of the rushing attempts versus 37% for Spears. He's probably got to go. He's got to go. If they can make the deal happen, that's going to be the issue here. If they can't get the deal, then they're going to rock these 2 running backs into next season. And you're looking at target share splits, 12 to 10%. So if Pollard's gone, Spears' target share is going to jump up to 15, 17%, something like that. And the work in the passing game is going to be nice. It's going to be nice. And even with Derrick Henry there, Tyjae Spears would hit. He would have some random games where he would splash. You're looking at what they're doing here. They're not winning games. They beat the Cardinals on accident. I don't look at any of these matchups as being really advantageous. But before Spears was in the picture this year, before week 5, Pollard was hitting the fairway about every other game, getting it done for you. So I imagine that's what we're going to get out of Spears. I think Spears would be a low-end RB2 high-end flex play that you can battle with your wide receivers, and you throw him into certain matchups, and you just hope he crosses the goal line or get those extra targets and bring him in. Tyjae Spears right now is a stash play that you can actually use in some matchups. Some people are rolling them out this week. Some people are using them in lineups this week. They're hurt with injuries. They're hurt with bye weeks. They're using him this week. He's getting enough touches, enough opportunities where they can do that, and they're just hoping that it works out. That's really what you're hoping for him right now. Now, we're looking at this trade. The worst thing that could happen is if this trade doesn't happen. And it's a big gamble because they may not get the right offer. They may not get the right opportunity that comes their way to make this deal and get it done. And they keep Tony Pollard, and it's rough for the rest of the season because it's hard to start any of these running backs. It's almost impossible to start him. It'd be great to trade Tony Pollard, maybe to the Chiefs, maybe to New England, maybe to some other team that needs a stopgap at running back or some extra gusto that we're not thinking about. Because Tony Pollard here might be cheaper in trade negotiations than Breece Hall. He might be a little bit more liquid. He's explosive. He's been steady. He was steady with the Titans last year. He's proven he can do some things on the field, look good with the Cowboys when he was there. He could be on the move. But the risk here is stashing Tyjae Spears. Trade doesn't happen. But prior to all this, you guys were stashing Spears anyways. He's probably already rostered. But I got to let you know the news that's coming out, the trade rumors, so you can react. I think Tyjae Spears, considering he has random weeks where he pops off while he's competing with a running back anyways, with the touches being opened up, can be a low-end RB2, high-end flex play that can give you some good gambles week in and week out that you can mess around with. That could help you right now. He could help you right now if you're in a bind. He's all right now if you're in a bind. If you're not in a bind, he ain't going to help you out. Honestly, if you're in a bind, you're probably looking for something else with more upside. But if this trade goes through, the upside might be there. And some people were talking about stashing Tyjae Spears due to this situation weeks ago in the comment section. So this isn't my total idea. This is everybody's idea right now because it came to the light. But people have been talking in the comment section of these videos when I'm talking about the waiver wire, and they mentioned Tyjae Spears. They've been talking about these trade rumors before they were trade rumors, getting ahead of the fact. So when you look at these you need videos and saying, hey, he's just trying to talk everybody up, he's just doing, remember, there's a lot of deep league players that come to this channel and they want to be ahead of the curve, or they're more aggressive leagues. Dynasty, Davy, Campus to Canton, those formats as well. If you don't know about those formats, those are fun type of leagues to play in, and it's all year long. Actually, more bang for your buck. Campus to Canton, Davy, those got a lot of bang for your buck. You could be rostering Tyjae Spears for like 10 years prior to this point, like since he was in high school in some of these formats. Some people were playing those leagues. They come here to help their lineups. We talk ball all year long, so they keep coming here, and they get that advice. But again, Tyjae Spears, we're watching that trade. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One, thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.